Welcome to our class, modern programming language. Today we will discuss about PHP language features. There are several features that are available in the new PHP, especially PHP version 7 and version 8. The new PHP. Okay. Before we discuss about the features, let's see the PHP from the past, from the present, and then the future. At the past, the PHP is used to write the code, upload to a web server, and then execute it with an interpreter. Right. This is we use PHP for. We use PHP as a server-side scripting language. Right. And then we try to use such as a PHP Apache or Nginx to serve dynamic content. Okay. This is the main thing that the people use PHP for. It's used for server-side scripting language to execute something, to connect into database, or to display something that in terms of dynamic content. However, PHP can also be used to build a powerful command line application like Python or Ruby. This is it's not new feature. This is the existing feature within the PHP. Okay, it can be used for not just only for graphical display or GUI, but it can be used for command line application. It means that it's working on command line. When you want to use that command or use that function, you call and use it. But it will return just only in terms of command line. It will just write the command line or CMD, or sometimes called terminal. Yes, this is also main 2 points of PHP using for the first is server-side scripting language that run on the server, and then it will serve dynamic content, as you say, that is using for many websites such as WordPress.com, Drupal, and so on. And it can be used for building powerful command line application. You can use as your own to complete some kind of task without see any line of code, or you can create a function and then you can call the PHP in terms of a command line application. Okay. If we look at the second utilities of the PHP, there is a command line application. Many PHP developers do not rely this and miss out of the really existing features of the PHP. As you know, if we compare between the PHP and Python, they are not different. Okay, but if you compare with the PHP 8 and the Python 3, we can see that the PHP is more faster than the PHP is more faster than Python. Okay, but because of Python become more popular, more training, because of they are using for data science, they are using for artificial intelligence and machine learning. But PHP is lacking such library. That's why they are not suitable for using such that. But it can be used for. Okay, it can be used for. Most of PHP they are using to create such website, simple website or complex web application. Okay, but Python they can build for several purpose programming language. We say Python can build for web, can be used for desktop application, can be used for machine learning, and so on. That's why the Python become the famous one right now. In the present day, we use PHP with several bunch of technology. Okay. We call this one is a modern PHP, because we do not just only upload after we coding the code, and then we do not upload to our server direct by using FTP, but we are using many tools to help this thing to make automating to achieve another level of the PHP. Okay, for example, here we use a version control. Okay. Instead of FTP, okay, as for example, as we use Git to code our to history our code, and then we can branch, we can fork, we can merge our branch together, and then mean that we can working for several people at the same time without conflicting the code. Okay, we have a local development environment. Actually, you are using XAMPP, I'm using MEMP, or so on. But right now in the production server, we have Vagrant, we have NCB and Chief and Puppet to help us in provision, and so on. You still able to use XAMPP, I'm still able to use MEMP, but you wanna move to some kind of more advanced or more higher topic, we need to move to Vagrant or something similar. Okay, we have a PHP component. Okay, right now most of PHP they are developed in terms of a component, a small unit of doing some specific task. Okay, and then it will when you want to use any component, we have to use some kind of dependency manager. In PHP, we use Composer to download the component. Okay, and then integrate to our project. Okay, in PHP there are PSR. Okay, PSR that used to standard the code and the way of development. Okay, we have many PSR. We have PSR 1, 2, 3, and 2, 5, 7 right now. Okay, the standard we have to it recommended us to follow if we want to make our PHP code base is globalized, mean that another people understand the same thing what we try to do. Okay, and then we can talk to another people around the world or the globe through the PHP programming language. Okay, by using PSR. Okay, we test the code by using PHP unit. Okay, this is the fundamental thing. If you want to test your code that is working or not in terms of integration test, unit test, or component test, we use PHP unit. We deploy our application with PHP Fast CGI. If you want, if your application is use some kind of multimedia related to graphic, you can use Fast CGI to process manage behind the server like the Nginx. This one. Okay, we increase the application performance by using opcode or bytecode. As example, as Zend OPcache, we are using such that to increase our performance. And then we will talk on this class also about the opcode and bytecode and OPcache. For the future of PHP, we can say that PHP is rely on Zend engine. Okay, this is engine that the PHP engine rely on, because PHP engine is rely on the Zend engine. Zend is the company that who responsible about the PHP engine and Zend engine. Okay, and then if you see this one, we have Facebook Hip Hop Virtual Machine, and then we have Hack Programming Language. The Facebook Hip Hop Virtual Machine is a virtual machine that run the kind of PHP programming language for Facebook. Okay, as you know, the Facebook is running front end, or we say the view layer of its website by using the PHP. Okay, they are using PHP, and then the programming that using on that new programming that developed from PHP that we call Hack Programming Language for PHP. Okay, if you wanna upgrade, you wanna learn new thing about PHP, Hack Programming Language will be new opportunity for you. And then plus with Facebook Hip Hop Virtual Machine. Okay, because it's new feature over there that can help developer make developing a software more faster and more speed over there. Okay, this is about new the PHP. Okay, new PHP. In language features, we have many features about PHP that you have to consider if you wanna enter to the modern world of the PHP. Okay, especially namespace, code to interface, and trait generator, closure, Zend OPcache, and built-in HTTP server. Today we will discuss about namespace, about interface, trait, and Zend OPcache, and then built-in HTTP server. Let's see one by one. Namespace, as we can imagine that namespace is used to managing our code. Okay, our code. Let's see the definition here, that it says that namespace are an important tool that organize PHP code into a visual hierarchy, okay, comparable to your operating system, file system, directory structures. Its modern PHP component and framework organize its code beneath its own globally unique vendor namespace, so that is does not conflict with or lay claim to common class name used by another vendor. You see this one, namespace become the most important tool that organizes PHP code. You wanna create your own component, okay? You wanna create or you wanna use any component or framework over there, such as Symfony or Laravel. You have to master in namespace, okay? Because of the classes, the file is organized based on the namespaces, okay? For example, as we have here, we have Symfony framework, HTTP Foundation is used for request and response of HTTP request and response. Okay, it's popular PHP component that manage HTTP request and response. This is one component that developed by Symfony. Okay, we call Symfony HTTP Foundation. If you look at the code, okay, you can search about this thing. Okay, you can search Symfony component HTTP Foundation, and then plus with GitHub, you will find the code. Okay, if you look at the line number 12, we have a namespace, Symfony component, and HTTP Foundation. Right, this is a namespace for this file. Okay, for this component. Okay, and then they will follow by the class name. Okay, this is the standard name of you wanna giving the namespace to your class or your component. Why we use namespace? Okay, we use namespace because of we want to organize our code to be more structured, and then when we publish our code to the global, okay, wanna make another person use our code, okay, and we have to specify the code that the code should not be conflict with another. For example, if we use the code as the class name as response, and imagine that there are over there people they like to use response class name also, so it will be conflicts with your code, right? Okay, better to use a namespace to organize the code. For example, here we are trying to create a Quran application, right? So we add namespace Quran app, right? So if we want use if we want to declare any class diagram, we can say the Quran app search about the search in this namespace, right? This is more organized, and then it will be unique one. Okay, just only you can use the Quran app, okay, and then deploy, and then you can use it. This one. If someone declare Quran app, so it will be conflict because the unique one is the vendor name. Okay, here is a Quran app, or your name, or the company. As a Symfony, they start by using the Symfony, right? The first letter of the namespace. Okay, first letter, and followed by the component, and followed by HTTP Foundation. So you wanna design your own namespace, so you should be followed by the first name should be a unique one. Okay, should be your name or your organization or thing that you're interested. Okay, by using the namespace, you can import an alias the code, and then you can use it. Okay, by import it means that tell the PHP which namespace, classes, or interface, function, or constant I will use in each PHP. I can then use this without typing this full namespace. By alias, I mean that I refer to the import and interface function constant with a shorter name. Okay, this is two things that we consider here. One is import to use, and second is alias. Make the long sentence to be a short, just only two or one alphabet that we can use. For example, here the first line is we import, right? Okay, we import this is the old traditional way that the traditional way that we import a class, right? We say here we want to import http foundation. The class is about response. Okay, response. We want to send some kind of op and 400. Okay, if we say they found the error 400, we say oops to display to the user, to display to the computer that this is the message that we want to display. Okay, and then we send. Okay, we send. So this is we use without importing an alias. We directly what we call initiate an object, right? As we learn about object-oriented programming, we start by a variable equal to a new, and then followed by the class name, right? Okay, the class name. We can by import we use the keyword use. Okay, use in front of the component name. Here we use use keyword, and then followed by symfony component, and then followed by http foundation, and followed by response, and then we can use the response class to in our code. Okay, we say that response new response, and then we can send. Okay, this one you see by using the use, it will more shorter. For example, response equal to new, again equal to response, and then followed by the argument that we want, and then we send response and send. This is we just only import. Okay, we use keyword as use to import the component. Okay, if we compare with the first one, the main thing is the main thing when you want to import again, when you want to use the response class again, you have to do again. Okay, as response 1, response 2, response 3 new equal to the component, right? This is to make our more trouble for developer to write again and again the code. Okay, so by using use, you can write, and then when you initiate the class, you can use for many times. Okay, for many times. But sometimes you see we have to write something long, right? We have to remember response, right? We have to remember the class name of the Symfony foundation, right? HTTP foundation, right? The name is response. So if we don't want to remember that name, we can use alias as this one. Okay, as you can use, and then followed by the component name, and then followed by s, and then followed by the alias name or whatever you need to rename. Okay, and then you can use it. The code should be more shorter. Okay, and then we declare res op 400, and then r send. Okay, object send to send as the function that we want to use. Okay, this is the good opportunity to use alias. Okay, why we just we don't need to refer to the response, but we just usually res, right? Res, or you can use s, or you can use e, or whatever based on you. This is make you more shorter code, and then you don't need to remember for the full name of the class of each component. This is about namespace. Okay, about namespace. Let's see in terms of implementation. Okay, in terms of implementation, this folder. Okay, this folder, and then go to the namespace. Okay, this is namespace, and then try to run this one. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, as I show on the slides. I will open by using PHP Storm as my favorite IDE I'm always using. Okay, you look at here, we have PHP features folder, and then inside there are namespace, right? Okay, namespace. If we click inside, we will see this one. Okay, okay, you look at here, we have response. Okay, we have response, and then we initiate an object. Okay, from the class is response, right? Okay, from response, and then we want to send this message. We will respond this message if they found the error 400. Okay, and then we send. If you try to run this one, it will return some kind of error. Okay, it will return some kind of error. Let's see. Okay, let's see what the error will look like. Okay, I open on the this one. Okay, I try to run the first one. You will see this one. Okay, you will see this error. Why? Because of the required when the autoload failed to open string, because we have to import the vendor, right? We have to import the Symfony component that is HTTP Foundation first. So we have to go and search this one. Okay, search this one, and then we have to install this one first. Okay, composer require Symfony HTTP Foundation to our class to our folder. Okay, how to install it? You can follow the video I already upload to YouTube. Okay, for example, here we are on this folder, right? So we wanna install that component into this this folder namespaces. Okay, I use a terminal, built-in terminal. Okay. So right now I am on the. Okay, I will move to. I am already in PHP, right? You have to make sure that what folder you are working right now. I am working on this folder. Okay, MLP 21st, and then PHP feature, right? And then we want to install just only inside the namespace folders. Okay, namespace folder. So we cd to namespace, and then we have to run the composer. Okay, if you do not remember, just copy and paste. Okay, the code from the internet. For example, this one. I want to install this one. Composer requires HTTP Foundation, right? Okay, I copy this one, and then I go to my editor, and then I pass it, and then I enter, and then I have to wait for it will download the component and create auto loading for us. Okay, it will load the HTTP Foundation. You see here, we will load the Symfony HTTP Foundation and its dependency. Okay, its dependency is not just load just HTTP Foundation only, but another packet that depend, this one, the HTTP Foundation depend, it will download it also and install to our folder here. Okay, and then you will see after we use that command, we will see this thing, two things. Okay, three main things. Okay, so first is composer.json, second is composer.log, and then vendor that we already discussed the previous class. Okay, if you open the composer.json, you will see that they install one thing, there is Foundation, HTTP Foundation version 5, right? Okay, version 5.3. Okay, so we wanna use this one. Okay, we wanna use this one. We try to run again the HTTP Foundation.php, our file. Okay, let's run. Right, you see, it will return our error like this. This is mean that it's working well according to our condition, okay, our code condition. Then try to, this is the normal, okay, normal one, traditional one to initiate any object. Okay, and for a second we are using use, right? Okay, we are try to use, and then we try to run this code. Okay, the result is the same, but the way of return the code is different. Okay, let's try to run number 2. Okay, it should be returned the same result. Okay, the same result. And then try to number 3, this one. In number 3 we plus use, and then we use import an alias. Okay, as res, and then we use r and then res, and then send send the argument, and then we call the method send. Okay, this one. And when we try to run, it should be return the same result. Okay, the same result. This is about a namespace. Okay, you can use with namespace for many things. Okay, because most of code they are running using namespace. Okay, the code to an interface. When you try to do anything that you want to make it more what we call standardized, make it more standard, or make it more what we call global, so it recommended you, PHP recommended you to use interface. I'm also recommended us to use the interface as our designing, okay, our designing the code. As we say, as the definition of interface, they say that an interface is a contract between two PHP objects that lets one object depend not on what another object is, okay, but instead on what another object can do. An interface decouple our code from its dependency, and it allows our code to depend on any third-party code that implement the expected interface. Okay, we don't care how the third-party code implement the interface, but we care only that the third-party code does implement the interface. As we know, the interface will define the standard name of the class and the function. So if you want to use an interface, you have to define the same what we call function name as the interface defined. Right? This is the interface. In object-oriented PHP, if we write the code that expects an object of a special class, okay, and therefore the specific implementation, our code utility is inherent limited because it can only use object code one class forever. However, if we write the code that expects an interface, our code immediately know how to use any object that implement that interface. If we write the code as the standard one, as object-oriented class that we inherit, or we are using the class instead of interface, right? So we have to inherit all things about the property and the method of the class, right? Especially the implementation method of the class and the property. So if you want to avoid to use that thing, we want to make it it can be used for any, okay, it can be used for any purpose, okay. So we have to define as the interface, okay, as we can say here, because of can be used if our code is inherent limited, okay, because it can be only use object or one class, okay, forever. However, if we write the code into our interface, our code immediately know how to use any object that implement that interface. So when you implement the interface, you can define your own function, okay, you own the function, the procedure inside, okay. Instead you inherit everything from the class, okay. Let's see the example. This one is a demonstration of what we call the document store, okay. In this document store, there are five class diagram here. You can see here we have document store, we have document table, we have stream document, command output document, and HTML document. So if we do not use interface, we have to what we say we have to write with many lines of code, and then the code will be not the same standard of name, okay. So if we declare as interface in the document table, we have two functions there, get ID, right, and then get content. So every class that inherits or implement the document table, they should contain that code also, that there is that function also that we call get ID and get content, okay. This is the interface, okay. And then in the interface, when you inherit or you implement the get ID and get content, it's not depend on the superclass, but it depend on the subclass. For example, HTML document, right? HTML document, it inherit from the document table via interface. So in its own get ID and get content, they will write another way of how to retrieve HTML, right? You look at here, we have they try to retrieve HTML, they try to retrieve string or file text, or they try to retrieve command output from the document. So they are working different purpose, right? Different objective, okay? But they are sharing the same function. How can we use it without interface? This is the advantage of the interface. We do not define anything inside the function. We just define the name of function and then let the child class or subclass define itself what should we do inside the method. Okay, let's see one by one code. Okay, code to interface for this one. Document store. This is we have two functions here. We add document and then we get a document, right? So we add document by using get ID and then get content, and then if you want to display the document, we get document and then return the value. Okay, this one. It can be used for three. For example, if we have a stream document, we have command line output document and HTML document, right? Three of this can be used a document store. Okay, we are a document table. Okay, if you look at the line number, there's no line number, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you look at line number 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have function add document, right? And in argument we have document table. Okay, we have document table. It's try to use the interface of document table in this function, right? Interface itself from the document table, they define as interface, right? Followed by the interface name, that is document table, and then there are two functions over there, get ID and get content, right? You look inside the function, there is nothing. Okay, there is no define property, there is no define what this function doing for, but just they give a name for it only. Okay, if you want to use this one, we implement. Okay, for example, here HTML document, they implement document table, and then they must include two functions from the document table. Okay, the interface document table, that is get ID and get content. Okay, this is about HTML to retrieve and then to read the HTML from any URL. So this is a function get content. Okay, get ID is to get URL that we want to send, what kind of what URL that we want to passing, we want to receive the data. Okay, same thing here, we want to read about our text document, so we can implement document table interface, and then we have to include two functions also, get ID and get content, right? But they are implementing different way inside the method, right? You look at this one for HTML, right? HTML, this is another way of retrieving the HTML. This is another way of retrieving the file, so we call string. Okay, file or whatever, there is text or whatever. But according to here, you see, we provide the interface and then let what we call the class that implement the interface define themselves about the function, what the function should do. Okay, another implementation of documentable interface is command output document. You look at here, we have also to define get ID and get content. If you do not define this one, your file will got error. Okay, if we file you got error. For example, here we want to retrieve, we want to using the terminal or CMD to retrieve some kind of file inside. Okay, we want to use. Okay, when we want to use, we create our object of document store class, and then we use the first one, we try to retrieve the HTML from the php.net. Okay, the second one is we try to reading the stream.txt file. Okay, the third one is we try to read the file inside a computer. Okay, for example, here I want to read the file that inside the folder etc, and the file name is host. Okay, and then we print out the result by using get document from document store function. Okay, you look at here, document store, they are provide two function, right? There is add document and then get document, right? Add document used to read the code. Okay, read the document, and then get document used to display or return the document. Okay, the code inside the folder of interface, we have something like this. Okay, we have something like this. If we try to generate our class diagram, okay, it will look like this. Okay, mean that three class diagram, three classes, it inherits. Okay, it inherit to document table. Okay, document table is interface. Okay, this is interface. Okay, this logo design display to you. Okay, if you wanna show more detail, we can click here. We are using PHP Storm. Okay, and then we show you that in document table we have get ID, we have get content, and then another class also that inherit from this document. They have to add this one also, get ID and get content also. Okay, let's try to run this one. To run this one, we have to use index. Okay, index.php that we have to require. Okay, because we do not use auto loading, we do not use namespace, so you have to require document. Okay, document table, document store, all file that related to make it this file run. Okay, and then we initiate the object, and then we retrieve HTML from this website. Okay, and then we read the text from this file. Okay, stream.txt that I provided here, and then try to read my host file. Okay, in my computer. Okay, let's run this one. Okay, let's try to run this one. You can run via terminal. Okay, we can run via web browser. Okay, I want to run via web browser here. Okay, so we have interface, right? Okay, when I click, it should be run. Right now it's running. Okay, it retrieving. First is it will because our first command is to retrieve the php.net, right? And then it will return by using this one. Okay, get document. Okay, so it will return this one. Look like this. It will read the php.net. Okay, whole file about the php.net. Okay, about the page of the php.net, and then we return something. This is in this file because this is stream content. Okay, stream content that I show in here. This file stream.txt, the content is one. This is the stream content. It will read this one, this file, and then the last one is that it will read my host file. Okay, this is this file in my computer, the host file in etc. Okay, this is all file that I use to store my file. Okay, this is about interface. Okay, interface that we define one. We can we define the interface name, and then we can use with any purpose. Okay, any purpose. It should be the purpose is it should be in the same category. Okay, a category of the code. Okay, traits, another new feature of PHP. We cannot say new feature. This is the existing features that it become the famous one. Okay, that use. Let me see what the traits using for. Okay, a trait is a partial class implementation, consent property, a method that can be mixed into one or more existing classes, PHP classes. Trait work double duty. They say work as what a class can do, like interface, and then they provide a modular implementation like class. This is you do not sure. Okay, you wanna try to combine two things that different purpose. So it better to use trait to combine. Okay, for example. For example, we have a class name that retail store. Okay, and then we have class name as car. Retail store is another class. Okay, and then there are different property, there are different function, but also car, there is another property, there is another function, right? So how can we make it to be using together? Okay, so that's why we have to use class. They say that the trait enable modular implementation that can be injected into otherwise unrelated classes. Okay, mostly we are using classes with same classes, right? We are talking about human, it should be human, children, woman, man, something like this. But you look at here, retail store and car, they are different category. So to use the thing as the different thing in what we call in same category, in same purpose, so we can use trait to make it what we call the middle things to work with. Okay, for example, here we want if you look at two class, rental store and car, they are one class, one purpose that they are sharing one purpose that they have to use. There is geocodable. Okay, that display about latitude and longitude. Okay, For example, you have a retail store, right? They have to display where is your store, okay? Where is the location of your store? A car also, they can be a smart car, right? They have to display your location, okay, when you drive over there, right? So different classes, retail store and car, they have different classes, but they need to use something that's similar, okay? That is geocodable. So how we can make the two different classes working together, okay? Let's see the example here. How can we create a trait? Trait we can create by this one, okay? Trait and followed by the trait name, and then followed by the implementation of trait, okay? For example, here geocodable, okay? We want to display the longitude and latitude and longitude of two objects. There is retail and car, okay? The code will look like this, okay? When you define the trait, it will start by trait and then followed by the trait name, and then open bracket and close bracket, and then followed by the property inside the trait, okay? And then followed by the function, okay? We have set geocoder, set address, we have get latitude, get longitude, and then display our latitude and longitude, okay? This is a code. You can read the code more clearly in the GitHub or my GitHub repository, okay? How to use the trait? When you want to use the trait, for example, in the retail store class definition, we define class retail store, and then we use keyword use, and then followed by the trait name, okay? For example, here use geocodable, okay? And then and after we use already, we have to initiate, right? Okay, we have to initiate retail store. You look at here, we have a store equal to new, and then followed by the retail store, and then we set address, we set a geocodable that we retrieve from the geocodable, that one component that working for geocodable, okay? And then we try to get latitude and get longitude, and then we try to display the latitude and longitude, okay? This is the trait. So this is about the retail store, and then we can do also with car. That is not different, okay? Okay, if we look at our the trait right here, okay, we have just try to display the class diagram. We have retail store, right? We have retail store that implement the trait from geocodable trait, okay? This is the logo of the trait, display like this, okay? Inside the geocodable, okay, it will there are 3 properties, okay, with 5 methods, okay? Get latitude, get longitude, and can set latitude, okay? Set address and set geocoder. This one. This method is implemented from the component. The name is geocodable for PHP, okay? This geocodable for PHP. You wanna install this one, you have to go to using Composer to download to your folder, and then you can use this one as we do in here, okay? We are using geocodable version 3.3, okay? This is already installed, okay? You define it like this, so you can try to make it, check it already exists in your computer or not, okay? Let's try to run this one first, okay? Let's try to run this one. We initiate, right? We require when the auto load, we require the class name of trait geocodable, and then class of the retail store, right? And then we try to initiate the component, okay, with new, the old traditional way of using the component, okay? And then we initiate the retail store, right? From the retail store class, okay? This one, retail store, okay? We initiate this one in our trait, right? Okay, and then we want to set this one. This is address, okay? This is the geocodable that we will get from the Google Map. Actually, this is working with a Google Map, but we do not set any Google Map. Let's see the error. What it will tell us about the error. Okay, this one, and then we want to get latitude and get longitude from the geocodable.php. This one, okay? Get latitude and get longitude. Okay, get latitude, get longitude. Okay, this is working with the component name geocodable for PHP. Okay, anything that you wanna display the map about map of the earth, Thailand map, and building some kind of location, and then latitude and longitude, something like this, you can use Geocoder PHP. This component is free. Okay, it's free. So let's try to run this one. Okay, right. Then you will see this one. First is, let's say that it requires when the autoload. Okay, we have the we define autoload already, but the problem is we do not include we do not update it, we do not install it in our folder, so we have to go and install it first. Okay, for example, here we are on namespace, right, the previous one. Okay, so we have to move to the trait, right. Okay, we have cd, and then we move to cd to trait, right. Okay, and then we have to update the composer, so we use a command composer. Okay, followed by, okay, we use install, right, because we already defined the file in here already. Okay, composer.json, this one, we need to install this component. Okay, we need to install this component. Let's try composer install. Okay, it will install our code, right. This is the requiring code. Okay, and then it will be finished. Okay, when you refresh the folder, this one, when you refresh, you will see something coming. Okay, there is a window that retrieve the codable geocoder for PHP. Okay, let's try again. After this one, we try to rerun again our code. It should be reply with something else, not another previous error. It will reply you about the API access denied, something like this. This is mean that you are coding correct, but you do not provide any API or a password for Google Map platform. So you have to go and set up this platform and then set up for the key gen. Okay, the key of the API key for the Google Map, and then you can use this feature. Okay, to display the geocoder of your location. Okay, of your location by using this one. Okay, another feature of the PHP is we call Zend OPcache. Okay, they used to make your web server, okay, make your application more faster, respond to user. Okay, we call a bytecode cache. Okay, in Zend OPcode they have a bytecode cache also to increase your performance of your application. Okay, let's see this one. What is a bytecode cache? Okay, when the PHP interpreter execute the PHP script, right, it will compile, right? It will compile to the code that we call a machine code instruction, right? That we call bytecode. Okay, we call bytecode. So the problem is PHP must compile, parse, compile, and execute PHP script over and over again for every HTTP request. For example, you request to index.php, right? The PHP will rerun again and again. This is make our server more tired, and then make our performance what we call reduce the performance, because the PHP have to work every time when we execute. So it's better if we have to reduce the application response time by using some kind of cache. Okay, and here we can use bytecode cache from the Zend OPcache. Okay, to reduce the compiling time. Okay, when you retrieve something, it will transfer that thing into bytecode cache, and then it store the pre-compiled PHP bytecode in the memory. Okay, in the memory of the server. Okay, and then when you request something similar, it will return the same result without any recompile. Okay, mean that they already recompile the file already. If you want to use again, so you use the existing file rather than compile, because compiling it takes time than retrieving from the memory, right? Okay, this is the benefit of using the bytecode cache. Okay, this is the the figure that explain the differentiate between the server without using cache and then with using cache. Okay, if they are using cache, they can execute directly. Okay, if they are not using cache, so they have to go to a lexicon, tokenize, parse, compile, and store as OPcache. Okay, it takes time to compile. So that's why if they compile already and then if they are stored in memory, so the time for compile, there is no need to compile again. They can reuse the existing code. They use the existing bytecode on the cache, and then it improve the performance of the compute the application. Okay. Another feature of PHP that you should use is built-in HTTP server. Okay. Mostly for us, when we want to run any kind of PHP application, right, we try to download Zend, we try to download mem or so on. Okay, but PHP itself, it provides built-in HTTP server, mean that you can test, you can develop as a local development by using built-in HTTP server. So there are servers inside the PHP itself already. So you wanna test, you don't need to download any kind of any additional third-party application such as Zend or mem. You can use the built-in HTTP server like this one. Okay, this is you can use the PHP built-in server by using PHP dash hyphen capital S and then followed by the localhost or 0.0.0.0.0. Okay, same thing, and then the colon and then followed by port number, whatever port number, but should not be what we call conflicts with another port number. Okay, you can use 4,000, 7,000 or million of port number, whatever, it depends, but here I define as 7,000 port number. Okay, and then you can use, but before you can use this one, you have to make sure that you already install PHP 7 to your computer, and then you already set the path for the PHP. How can we use it? Okay, I'm opening terminal. Okay, and then you have to make sure that you are using the PHP. Okay, your PHP is working on your computer by typing PHP -v. Okay, for example, here I'm using PHP 7.4. Okay, it will show me here. Okay, I'm using PHP 7.4. Okay, point 12. Okay, then you can use the local built-in web server as we discussed. Okay, PHP dash S and then followed by local host and then followed by the port number, for example 7,000. Okay, this one you can use it, and then when you enter, now the server is running. Okay, the server running, you can access your server from this one. Okay, HTTP localhost port 7,000. Okay, I copy this one, I try to run on my computer, and then I put this one, I enter. This means that it's working. Okay, now it's working, but there is no file over there. They say no file, mean it's working for the server, but there's no file. This one. Okay. Laravel GitHub. Okay. You look at the Laravel composer.json. Okay, you will see there are many packages. Okay, that for Laravel. Okay, this is the first package that require PHP. Okay, another package they require the Gazelle. Okay, they require the file explorer. This is from Symfony. Okay, in the Laravel Framework. Okay, you see this one, Laravel Framework. You go deeper more in the Laravel Framework. For example, here you go to, it's not available here. Okay, may I go to my repository as Quran? Where is Quran? The noble Quran. Okay, open and VS Code. Okay. Okay, you look at here, We have the same thing, Laravel version 6. I'm installing version 6 of Laravel, so this one. Okay. Then when you look into vendor, okay, vendor, there's folder that the container of the component, okay, how huge the Laravel using the component from another component. You look at here, we have folder name vendor, okay. Here we have go down, okay, Sebastian, okay. Sebastian is the creator of the symfony, okay. This is the folder, that object that what we call integrated or downloaded to the Laravel itself from the symfony, okay. And then you look at the symfony. This is the component, the symfony, okay, from the symfony that using inside the Laravel, okay. You see this one of our discussion today is about HTTP Foundation, right? Okay, HTTP Foundation. So you will see, you look at here, there are same folder that we are retrieved as our discussion, okay, HTTP Foundation. There are many over there. There are many components that we can use, okay. Each component that you want to use, you have to make a research about that, because each component there are different implementation, okay. There are different interface and how to use, how to call it, okay. But the main point is here, if you want to learn about symfony, you can the main point of symfony, because of it more focus about architecture, okay. It's difficult to some people don't like to do a configuration. They like to use as a framework suddenly as easy as possible. So this is the reason of the Laravel built-in form, okay. They build based on the symfony and another component, and then make it easy for us to use it, okay. But behind the scene, they rely on many components, as we can see on the folder of vendor, okay, vendor. This is a PHP language feature of modern language programming. See you again next class.